a serial abuser like Steven. He can control Abba. He literally asked Abba to... I still feel it.
Like, imagine how dead to rights I would be if there was ever a clip like this of me.
Did he abuse you with... I hadn't read it! I'll fucking read you an excerpt. Tell me if this makes me look bad.
Lav alting you on her live.
I'd sexually abuse him. I was like, I shouldn't have told Big Tech about it. But me and Steven had the agreement that we weren't going to be public with our sexual relationship because of me, because I was embarrassed. Because of me. He said, I don't care. He said, I don't care. If I'm an open book. We can talk about it. And I said, well, I don't want to talk about it. And he said, okay, we won't. So him feigning this deep sadness or this anger that I told anyone about our sexual relationship is ridiculous.
To be clear, that is not at all how she presented anything, but okay. Usually when I hook up with a girl, usually what I say is, whatever information you want out is whatever you're comfortable with. I don't care. I can keep everything private. But but I know that there's like a stigma more for girls hooking up than for guys hooking up. So I'll usually like keep things quiet if they want to. I don't really care if anybody wants to make things public. Like, that's fine. My issue wasn't making things public. My issue was her lying about our interaction to try to make me look bad.
I got confused because I don't remember all of the conversations we had because there are so...
I feel like this, I don't even know what the point is of talking about any of this. She clearly is just like, I wonder if these are Max talking points she's been like rehearsing now. Do you think she could be mentally ill? I mean, she's like a little bit mentally traumatized by her mom, probably, yeah. I guess, or so she says. Or she just got here all on her own of being a horrible person.
I forget what I was gonna say. What was I saying? Had to ban someone, sorry. What was I saying? Someone help. Someone help!
So maybe a situation where she is looping. Kind of. She's basically, Max has her on like this indefinite loop. It probably still stirs up attention for everything and tries to keep his article like semi-relevant. I'm thinking now that Max is probably holding on for as long as possible for his article, because he knows that like once it drops, I think he's kind of lost everything, and it's obviously it's not the bombshell that he wanted it to be. So,
like, because I didn't want to be seen as another girl that Steven had fucked who had been on his stream. So I was like, I don't want to do this. And now he's feigning that he's so upset that I told Big Tech, I don't fucking owe you anything. And I know that now. I don't owe you shit.
It's really funny too how she finds a way to make her like abusive behavior like the other person's fault by reframing everything constantly. I don't know if it's a conscious process or not, but like, again, if you want to tell people we hooked up, I don't give a fuck. I'm fine with that. Like, it doesn't make me look bad. The issue isn't you telling people we hooked up. The issue is you lying about the interaction again, and then like trying to cast it in a bad light. That's the issue. An
unnegotiable abused me on stream the other day, and I couldn't lie to myself anymore and say that Steven was just a good person who was slightly messy and a victim of his own circumstance. After I couldn't do that anymore because I saw the evidence, I was like, I'm fucking strapped in. I'm in it. I'm in it. I'm involved. I'm part of the creation. I'm involved.
Oh, and now she's trying to like rewrite that history, saying that she was removed from it, but then when I confronted her, now she's like back in it. She's been part of it the whole time, right?
Yeah, I'm in it. I'm strapped in. Public statement.
I love how you call all of this too.
Speaking of your abuse, your chat wants to be abused with some new and custom emotes for this.
Technically, I said it was going to be within... I always overshoot. I said it was going to be within 72 hours she'd flip, but I think it was literally like 12 hours.
I don't owe you anything. Also, Lav, why didn't you do more to protect from your fans?
I don't know how to make them. Talk with Charmhole. But yeah, is Steven looping on his stream right now? What made you change your mind since a few days ago? When I could not lie to myself anymore about Steven.
When Max and Shaelin probably re-brainwashed her and got her back on track. They reprogrammed.
That it was extremely interesting. Well, first of all, at the time, I felt extremely uncomfortable with the situation that was playing out before me. And I couldn't explain it at the time, but now I can't explain it. I obviously had a sexual relationship with Steven, and weeks later, he thought that it was okay to call me an abuser off no basis.
She's going to walk this back as soon as she gets confronted.
Say that I was doing Darvo towards him, to say that I was super manipulative, to
I'm betting she'll move in with him before the year ends.
Me.
Somebody said she broke up with Connor, but it's all like Reddit talk. I don't know if that's true or not.
I called her smart. I just said she was young. You did do that. But while you did that, you also said other horrible things about me that emboldened your audience. So it doesn't really hold up.
I like how any disagreement with her are horrible things.
You have accounts, Steven, that are recording and uploading VODs of all the videos you delete, or else nobody would have access to that. But yeah, so nothing he says fucking hold up. All Steven does is lie. All Steven does is lie, and then project onto me that I'm a liar, project onto everyone else that they're manipulative, project onto everyone else that they're an abuser.
I might not have timelines 100% correct all the time because I don't remember, but like in all of this Max, Lav, and MrGirl shit, like have I lied? I'm trying to think if I've lied about anything. Because I feel like Lav and MrGirl have been caught in so many lies in terms of just making shit up related to timelines. It's just so weird for her to call me the liar. Like, does she honestly think? Like, what have I lied about? Like, I'm pretty sure I produced logs to back up every single thing I've said. I'm pretty sure I produced logs to reject things that she said, like about me, like not checking in or making clear like our sexual relationship. She's lied about the timeline of our sexual relationship. She's lied about her, that nuke in the beginning. She pretended when I talked to her last time that she didn't remember that happening. I
used to be in with my mom, where I couldn't, for some reason, I could not imagine why my mom was hurting.
Julie logs were talking shit about her fiance. She did that in person. She knows she did. I mean, I don't know if I really want to I feel bad leaking shit about that because then I'm just basically throwing him under the bus. But
it was so undeserved. When my mom used to.
She lied about Madame Genevieve. She lied about Pixie. She lied about Kelly when she was just Hail Marrying random shit out.
Hurting myself. And she laughed at me. And she started recording me and told me that she was going to send it to my friends and therapist. And that hurt so bad. And it hurt so bad that my brain fractured. And I could not
Did she ever send over the logs like she said she would do to you? No, I told her, but I'm pretty sure I said on the call she was never sending those logs. And then she found an excuse later that night not to, so.
Since you sent all of our logs to him, which by the way included a ton of personal information that I see you don't give a fuck about, but since you sent all of my stuff to him, why don't you send all of your conversation to me? You said you'd do it earlier, right? Didn't you say that earlier? You'd send the logs? Or was that just posturing and nobody here bothered to ask?
Yeah,
so that was bullshit. You said it because
I have nothing to hide. I have literally nothing to hide. I'll send them to you.
Yeah, should be. Okay.
Because that's senseless. That is senseless cruelty. So then I had to be well, I was probably being embarrassing and annoying. Had to have been.
But I also think too that she's probably a little bit obsessed with the attention. She is, right? So she can do her normal streams with 50 viewers, or she can talk about me to boost her numbers again, and she gets super high off all of the attention and everything. Serious question. Has any of this made you reconsider how you approach women in the future? No, I just have to be more careful around certain mentally ill people. Remember, the driving force behind all of this isn't actually the mentally ill women, it's the mentally ill man. It's the MrGirl. That's the guy that's driving all of this. Because I think she's probably obsessed with him, and he'll easily weaponize her to further his own agenda. So I think that's kind of what's happening right now. Without MrGirl, me and Lav might have a falling out. I'm sure it was probably bound to happen at some point just because of the type of person she is, but I don't think she would be this obsessively looping on it if Max wasn't there writing the plot for her in the background every single time, you know?
But Steven has no real world power. He has an audience. He has a big audience of sycophants who he's trained into thinking everything Steven does is permissible because he's a good person and he's right and he's true and he's honest. But it will not hold up. It will not hold up. No. And Steven doesn't have any real world power. He has this audience of fucking crazy people.
What does that mean?
So I'm not scared anymore. Do your worst.
What is the real world power? Did she think she was going to get assassinated?
Because when I leave the internet, which I won't, as long as I'm alive. Yeah, Kilo. I have nothing to lose. I'm in an incredible relationship.
I wonder if
I'm
she
healing my relationship with my family. I'm in therapy. I'm doing well.
Clearly not.
I'm changing my life. I'm hopefully going to stop sex work this year. I'm cultivating an audience of rad femmes. I'm doing good. Oh no. And all Steven has is his audience. And his orbiters, but
they'll leave once the article comes out.
That's it.
The article.
Destiny's constantly lying of while he's watching the stream, he's accusing you of being manipulated by MrGirl. He can't say that anymore. The more he says that, the deeper he digs himself in this hole. Steven, all of our logs will be public. All of what you have said in your videos are public. You cannot hide behind this MrGirl bad thing anymore.
I wonder if she's publishing all of her logs with MrGirl.
You will not be able to hide from your own actions and words. You will not be able to. And you are digging yourself deeper. You are literally digging yourself deeper. He just told his stream what you said against Connor. If that's true, if he heard me talking about him like this and he said this is a good time to lie about something, how bad does that look? Retaliatory violence where he knows his audience is going to harass me with this. How does that make him look good? How? How does that make him look good? Substantiate it. Substantiate what I said, Steven. I'm not scared. Steven commenting on me in bed? Who cares? You know what I won't do? You know what I won't do? Is submit to Steven anymore. And I won't do and Steven, this is what Steven does. He'll do all this shit and then he wants to start mudslinging. And he expects me to retaliate. But he has to expect me to retaliate. Because if I stand tall and I say I'm not going to comment on your body. I'm not going to comment on...
You literally already did, you dumb Bro, are you serious?
Relationship, how good you were, how bad you were, what your body looks like. Then he has nothing. If I'm calm and collected, he has nothing. And then it just looks like a psychotic man on stream.
True.
Bullying a smaller creator who he had a sexual relationship with. But then he'll loop And then he loops, and then he loops, and then he loops, and then he accuses Anna of looping. And then he loops. And then he keeps looping. And then he accuses everyone of looping. And then he has to set the record straight. And he's only talking about us because we talked about him.
I don't know what we were arguing about, but for some reason she asked me for a screenshot or something of her. This is so funny, going through and looking at how she talked about Max, like when he first banned her from her server. Max is a bad person. And Max was like, I didn't like anything. Max is retarded. I hope you tell Max how insane he is about saying I'm uncomfortable with making me more fucking money. This is so weird. Turns out I'm not a bad debater. Max used to be 400 miles away from me. Everything Max is telling you applies to him with misogyny and tenfold. I hate Max. I think it's time to start giving Max attention. Why are you letting Max try and control you? Stop the madness. Okay, done. Max gets a posting. And off the shoulders of Max, who's like encouraging people to cyber stalk me, and we're starting an army against Max. Hang up and block Max. Add me to the call so I can tell Max he's a loser. This was her impression. Like, it's so wild. Very nice of me.
Screenshot of you disliking MrGirl last year. Max has seen all of those. We laughed about it yesterday of how many times I called him retarded.
But then I realized he was the genius.
He read them to me yesterday and was like, "Oh, I'm retarded." Like the things that I was saying about, I was like, I think I called him I called him a bunch of names. We were laughing about it.
I don't understand why who he had a sexual relationship only used in one direction to imply misconduct on your part. She was a part of that sexual relationship. Why is there no responsibility on her end at all? Yeah, I mean, like, technically, I actually thought about this like 2 months ago because I was bored. I was like, I wonder if I should Me Too her in like a text document, because I could actually, like, based on everything that happened. But I mean, like, I don't really give a fuck. But it would be funny. But I don't even think she's disputed any of the facts, especially once I started to lay out more on that call how she misrepresented our hookup and things she lied about. She didn't even seem like she wanted to fight on it because she knows she's lying, right?
He doesn't want you to see the pussy side, but he doesn't want you to see how much he lies. Steven doesn't want you to see how much he lies. Are you willing to reach out and be the bigger person offering an olive branch and to make peace? I don't think you can say no if you reach out to mend the damage, so you'll win. I would rather eat glass than be friends with a serial abuser like Steven. Steven is a narcissistic abuser. I do not want to make peace with him. I don't want to speak to him ever again just so he can abuse me in a conversation, confuse me, move the goalpost, accuse me of sexual abuse. Ridiculous.
In my opinion, one of the most clear examples of how MrGirl and Shaelin are manipulating her. I'm actually really glad you guys saw this, so it doesn't sound like I'm making it up. When Lav had written that article about MrGirl, me and her being in the same call, and she said, I didn't say anything, that wasn't true. I think actually Melina might have been sitting behind me and heard that. As soon as I got Max to join the call and he saw that it was me and her in there, Max didn't want to talk in front of me, and then he left. Shaelin also did the same thing. When I joined that call, when Shaelin and Lav and the other people were in there, as soon as I joined, Shaelin left too. Because like the only way that their like manipulation shit works is if they can only talk to her 2-on-1 or 1-on-1. Because if somebody else is there to call it out, obviously they're gonna look crazy. But it's at least you guys got to see that happen in real time, where Shaelin or Max won't sit in a room with me with her because they need the ability to work on her brain like 1-on-1 or 2-on-1.
You'll be able to see that. You'll be able to see everything. Look at Counterpoints' tweet.
Why are they manipulating her? Because she's probably the most important story or a big part of the article for Max. Her and Anna's stories are like the cornerstones to his article. Lav probably more important than Anna at this point would be my guess, even though Anna has the more juicy story.
I hope Counterpoints
because Lav is willing to work with them so much.
Post. All Steven does is flounder and spew abuse. It is all he does. It's all he does. And then he's self-masturbatory on stream. He thinks he knows everything. He goes into these red pill communities because there's easy layups, because these people are sub 120 IQ.
Oh no, not my content.
That's
Is she gonna attack my content now?
Easy layups. He argues with random people. This is the funniest thing, how him debating with small creators is framed. It's framed like, oh, he's giving them a chance. No, that's not what it is. Steven streams with small creators because they're easy layups.
Jeez.
And he gets to look smart, and he gets to look righteous, and he gets to look like a god. It's not because he's just looking out for the underdog. Anna was right about the Dark Triad stuff in the end. Whoa. Anna was right about everything.
True.
And I cannot believe the abuse with Anna.
I like how when we were in a call together, like I literally asked her point blank, like, how was I abusive? What did I do wrong? Is there anything I could have done better? And she makes it sound like I manipulated her into saying like, well, you didn't do anything wrong at all, and there's probably nothing you could have done better. But that was all manipulation.
Hey, Gray, thank you for...
She's so much more powerful when she's after getting reprogrammed by Max and then coming on her own to like stand on her soapbox.
This is... You know what you'll find out from... What you'll find out from all of the logs and shit being public...
Yeah.
Is not only does Steven lie constantly,
yeah,
but he's stupid.
True.
But he's dumb. He's reckless,
mm-hmm.
He's uncareful, and he does shit in plain sight where everyone can see it, but nobody's logged it before.
I like how little they understand about the internet to think that I could get away with that. Like, I have so many different communities that hate me, so many individuals that hate me, so many people that are trying to nail me on a million different things at every single point of my life, and she thinks that they're going to be the first ones to like figure out that I'm actually secretly a horrible, evil person.
It's shit that... It's not a narrative. It's logs. It's shit that he's said. Shit he's said, shit that he's done. He literally cannot... There's nothing he can do.
That's true, actually. I wonder if they're... That might be a bit narcissistic. I don't know. I wonder if there's anybody on the planet with a life as carefully documented as mine. I feel like I probably have... No, I bet Soda Poppin' or Asmongold, because those guys stream like 15 hours a day, right? In terms of like raw number of hours on screen, I've got to be up there for like top like 100 people, do you think? Chris Chan? I'm just saying in terms of like raw hours of footage out there. Like I've got to be up there. If I've been streaming for 12, let's say I've been streaming for like 12 years. Let's say we're gonna average it at 6 hours a day. We'll average it at 5 hours a day. Times 3, wait, 12 years times 365 times 5, 22,000 hours of content. That's if I average 5 hours a day.
Actually, Darbo, every, Destiny now claiming to be a victim for having so much exposure. Is that a joke? Is that a joke? He's so scared. I don't get why MrGirl and Shaelin talking to you in private is brainwashing, but Destiny arguing with you on that panel in front of thousands of viewers isn't extra pressure brainwashing at all. Not only that, but Steven made sure in that moment, during that stream...
She's repeating Max's... These are Max's talking points now.
To say...
She's remembering what he told her about the convo, basically.
Just say out loud that I'm the only reason you and Max are friends. Okay. Yes. He's like, I'm the one who healed your relationship. I'm like, okay. It's like when you, and this used to happen with my mom a lot. When you're in the grips of narcissistic abuse, everything good that you've done becomes them, and everything bad that you've done is you. And that's what's really confusing, and that's why you start to believe that you deserve the abuse, or that you deserve anything, right? So like him being like, yeah, you can attribute your internet presence to me, even if it's true. Yes, it is true. Or I'm the reason you and Max are friends. That is true. But everything bad is me. Everything bad is my fault. But everything good, let me remind you that everything good is me.
One thing that I'm interested from their end is like, because she's hyping this up so much. But what can you be hyping up? Like, we never even spoke that much, even outside of sexting, which I think we did twice, and our one hookup. We didn't even talk that much. I don't know what she could possibly think. It was so f***ing hyped in our logs that it like lives up to whatever this is. Unless they're gonna try to fake shit, which I don't think they would do. That'd be really dumb because they don't know if I have a copy of all of our convos or not.
Don't talk about his kid, please. You will be banned from chat.
Do you think they might have faked something? No, I don't think they'll fake anything. I think they'll probably just like twist. So like, I'm sure that there's probably times where me and Lav have joked about being toxic or whatever, where like she might say something like, oh, I hate you. And I'm like, yeah, good. I like toxic friendships or something. And they'll be like, this is him actually meaning this when he plays it off as a joke with plausible. Like my guess is it's just going to be a bunch of shit like that. I don't even know how many of those jokes I made towards her.
Dude, it's just...
Or like, I think she sent me a pic once and I was like, welcome to the Orbiters Club. And she was like, oh, that was actually my induction into the Hall of Fame? Wait, am I using that word correctly? That's actually when I was able to come on stream and join.
How does that make Steven look good?
Introduction?
How?
I think induction works there.
Now Destiny is hedging by saying he probably jokingly said abusive things at DM. It's not a joke if actionably you were doing that. If actionably you were doing the thing.
It is. It's gonna be all that. It's gonna be like dumb little quips.
You know what's so interesting is that even though the whole Hassan thing happened,
and that's gonna be everything.
I, recklessly went into a Discord and accused Hassan of something that.
Oh, careful.
He said that he did not do.
Oh, nice.
And he's clarified he did not do, and that I've clarified he did not do. He went on live. It was covered on Philip DeFranco, on Hassan's own channel. And even during that conversation, Hassan said, if you talk about this again, you're gonna get banned. If you harass this girl, you're gonna get banned. I think he said like a bunch of stuff like that.
Oh my God. Was Hassan blackmailing her too?
I had 1 week where his audience and Philip DeFranco's audience and whoever harassed me. 1 week. And even then it was like, hope you get help, girl. It was like,
it can't just be bans, no shot. The thing, like, so, I mean, just like run it down. There's a couple possibilities. Either one, I was legitimately abusive to Lav and she just didn't figure it out until 2 days ago, I guess. Or two, I am an abusive person. How has it never come out in 12 years? I feel like it's kind of like I use the train wrecks test for me, where it's like, if I really up, probably would have known about it by now. But the thing is that like I've had, I've got to have had like, I want to say 4 or 5 sexual relationships now with women that f***ing hate me today. Like absolutely f***ing hate me. The ones that are public are Merrick, Bad Bunny. I know there are more, but these people hate the f*** out of me. And they've never ever made a claim like this, that like, oh, like Destiny was like sexually abusive or Destiny was coercive or anything like that. Like nobody's ever made that claim before, ever.
Able to do that, but Steven's like, I can't, it's my audience, not me. Doesn't hold up, babe. Does not hold up.
Or the third one is that I'm abusive and coercive to selective individuals. I don't show that, and I'm extremely respectful to all the other individuals, but the ones that I have been abusive and coercive are, I have enough leverage or blackmail on them in order to make it so that they don't say anything. Which is possible, but that's a lot of work. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not perfect, and I do lie sometimes, but when I lie, stupid. Bro, I know so many people out there, when I lie, I get caught in like you can ask Melina, like if I tell a stupid lie, she'll find out within like a month, because I'll probably forget, and I'm like, oh yeah, we should like hang out with that girl, she's really cool, like I saw her like 2 weeks ago. And Melina's like, you told me you didn't see anybody 2 weeks ago. I'm like, I mean, I saw her pictures on Instagram, and she's like, she doesn't have an Instagram, you stupid. And I'm like, the reality is that, like, I think I've said this before, like the Death Note, like telling really complicated lies involving multiple people it's really fun and exciting, but in the real world it just doesn't work. There are so many stories you have to keep track of. There's so many people that can leak anything. It's just not possible to do. As much as you might want to do it, there's no way, unless you literally have like life-ending blackmail on somebody, we can guarantee their silence. A friend will always tell a friend, and then once the second or third party removed knows, they just tell everybody because they don't give a about your secret, you know? Like that's always how shit gets leaked.
Person with their community, of course not. But he look at his most recent video about me and look at the comments. He has the capability to delete all of it.
Why would I do anything protecting you when you're one of the most aggressive and attacking and abusive people that I've ever had in my life before? Why would I ever protect you at all? Like, I have no sympathy for anything that happens to you at this point.
All of the videos involving
Hi, MrGirl. That's probably going in the next video or article. I don't know if that's going in the second or third article or...
He can control ABBA. He literally asked ABBA to take down the Anna video.
That means I control
Steven
ABBA?
Can do that. He has so much control and he feigns not having any. Destiny constantly talks about how responsible creators are for their community behaves. He could easily stop his community from being abused.
The reason why I asked ABBA to take down his video from Anna is because despite our huge history that is antagonistic towards each other, I think Anna has huge problems with OCD, but I don't think Anna wants to like kill me or end my life. I don't even think Anna, even at the worst of her OCD, I don't think Anna was ever malicious. She was just like her ruminations and her, there's a name specifically for when OCD people do something to alleviate a stress, was going live and talking about it. That was just like the way that she would do it over and over and over again. But like, she was never like, today's the day that I'm gonna try to ban Steven, and like scheming these like weird plots to do it. Like sometimes she would talk to people, but every single bad action that Anna did was usually just her enacting her compulsion, right? Messaging Eros, messaging whoever to say like, hey, did you hear this about me? Hey, did he say this about me? Hey, this isn't true about me. Hey, you said this, it's not true. Like, it was never like, so yeah, of course. Like, I've made a best faith effort to get everything I can of Anna taken down. I think I removed everything from my channel. I think I asked ABBA to take his video down. But yeah, of course I would do that. But I think I would do that for most people. Like, there are a lot of people that DM me asking to take videos and I'll do it. Oh, like that one video with the catfish situation. I told that person on our stream that I wouldn't upload it. I didn't know it was gonna get uploaded to my second channel. But then I asked Marcus, oh, hey, like they don't want this uploaded. Can you remove this? And he removed the video. Like,
a normal thing to do is insane. That's crazy. That's crazy. Anna has a sexual relationship with this person who keeps spreading lies about her, calling her a stalker. He was in my DMs calling Anna a stalker while he was sexting her.
oh my God. You know how insane that is? Two 32-year-old people were sexting each other.
Oh, it's so easy to ban people.
I feel like this is peak internet. Is like, let me tell you the story about this guy. He was super sexually abusive with this woman. Holy shit, did he like her? Well, no. But he was like very sexually abusive while they were acting together. And it's like, damn, were they like or was it just oral? Was he like not doing unprotected sex? Like, no. You're not, just pay attention to me. They weren't actually like having sex or anything. It's like, oh, okay, just like oral, I guess. No. Hold on. Stop making assumptions. What I mean is that like sometimes they traded like dirty messages and sometimes pictures and stuff on Discord. Okay. Oh, holy shit. Wait, well, what do you mean by that? Was she like a minor? Is she like 15? No. She's like 32, and he's like 33. It's like, oh, was he like blackmailing her or like trying to make her do things she didn't want to? No. They talked about it and she said she was cool with it. She just has compulsion sometimes. But like, it was still really just like how many, like, I think Chud's comment is fair, where Chud's like, don't you think maybe it's a bad idea? I was like, yeah, I guess maybe you could say that. But like, this is like on the level of like Harvey Weinstein. People like, bro, really?
But when she comes forward with them and then it flips. And then she's just so mentally ill, and then she's fine, and then she's mentally ill, and the same thing happened with me.
The dirtiest route that Max can play that makes things a little bit difficult for me is that, and I don't know, I've got to figure out how I'm going to thread the needle on this one. Anybody that watched Anna, and I believe Anna herself will admit, Anna did have severe mental illness compulsion problems. That's just true, right? her going live and talking about me for 2 years was a lot. But if they put that behavior up as like a normal thing to do that I was driving, it puts me in a really weird spot where it's like, do I have to make a big response basically just calling Anna mentally ill? Because that feels really shitty. Where it's like, do I have to throw her under the bus because they've weaponized her? Which I don't want to do, you know? The problem isn't her OCD, it's her belief that you sexually abused her, in my opinion. No. The issue isn't that she thinks she was sexually abused. The issue is that she feels like I misrepresented parts of our relationship, and that when that misrepresentation spread to the community, anytime she sees other people echo things about our relationship that she feels are not true, she feels the need to correct the record. That's what the OCD ritual was. Was anytime she would see, that's why like the things that would trigger her, because we would talk about it a lot, and she would tell me the things that would trigger her were usually her Googling and finding old Reddit threads, finding YouTube videos on other channels, sometimes finding YouTube comments, or finding Kiwi Farms threads. Those are the 4 things that would like re-trigger her over and over and over again. And then the problem is that once it would re-trigger her, she would go live, she would talk about it, then there would be more threads, more videos, more comments in my community. I control what I can. I remove threads on my subreddit. I'll tell you guys not to talk about it. But that's what would cause the rumination and the compulsions and the OCD to loop and loop and loop and loop and loop. But that was basically the issue. How bad would it be for you to have Anna on a brief stream to clarify her account of things?
Dish out other than talking about Destiny? Yes.
I could, but so here's the problem, okay? The problem is Anna's about to graduate. She has a real life boyfriend. I don't even think she barely streams anymore. She's like living her life and doing super fine. Like she's almost done with her program. She's about to work, boyfriend, everything's going fine. She's touching grass. She's in the real world, and she's not like streaming as much. She hasn't had like an OCD loop or compulsion in like 6 months, a year? I don't know. Like she's super out of it. So it would feel really shitty for me to drag her back in to exonerate me. Like, hey, I need you to get back in here into the depths of all this fucking internet drama because I need your help. Like that just feels like really shitty. Although the biggest issue is going to be that Max and Lav, I think even though Anna said no, I think Max said even though she doesn't want to, he's still going to like write a whole thing about her story. So
now Destiny is saying it's wrong for you, MrGirl, to defend Lav because she's fine and healthy and you're dragging her back into the internet drama. The only one dragging her back into it is Steven. He projects everything.
Why does Lav say Steven after everything? Is that a manipulator tactic? I don't want to call it a manipulator tactic, but it is. But you could do that just being nice, but yes. If you haven't figured this out yet, if there's like one people tip ever, the sexiest, the hottest, the most emotional, the most romantic, the highest emotional thing that you can ever do to somebody is say their name. Everybody loves the sound of their own name. It just sounds so good, and it gives you so much leverage and control over a person. If you're trying to be romantic towards somebody, I love you, Melina. Like saying their name feels really good. If you're trying to be mean towards somebody, you need to get the fuck back here, Melina. Like it's like it's more than a fuck you. It's more than any slur. It's the biggest fucking thing in the world. So oftentimes, if somebody's trying to like emotionally manipulate somebody or get leverage on somebody, repeating the name like Melina, 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 like saying that over and over again, Steven. It's like it's a hook that people go for. I don't know if it's like a conscious thing or if it's intentional or not. I usually, when I look at like manipulative people, I try not to assume that they've plotted out their master tactics. It's probably just something that they're aware of, that they know, right? Or they know it like subconsciously. Like it's like, oh, this is a thing I do and it works, basically.
Because now when everyone brings up Anna on the subreddit, on Max's subreddit, everywhere, it's like, oh, Anna's just, she's just like, they worked it out. They worked it out. It's fine. And you know who started that narrative is Steven.
Well, no, that narrative was started because me and Anna had like a 3-hour stream where we talked about our OCD. I wonder if they've even seen that. Another thing that's a little bit annoying too is that these two guys are trying to write about so much shit that they don't even know anything about. Like, no offense, but like Lav is on here saying like, oh wow, and after I fought with them, now Pixie and Kelly want to become orbiters. Like, bitch, what are you talking about? These people were fun on my stream and fans of my stream and friends of mine before, like years before I even knew who the fuck you were. Like, why would you make that claim? Like, Kelly was a friend of mine before you were like 15 years old. What are you talking about? Yeah, it's like so cringe that these guys they're so new. They're actually new frogs, and they're like trying to like come in here like, oh, I know, blah 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 blah, you know.
I'm not going to make excuses anymore. I'm not going to make excuses for daddy anymore. I'm not going to... What me saying this publicly is I'm not going to make excuses for my mom anymore. I'm not going to make excuses for Destiny anymore.
So brave. Remember when she nuked her online reputation as Lav, and she was like, I'm gonna take responsibility for who I am, and now I'm gonna start really being myself. And she changed her name to like Leah and Femoid, and that was really just to get away from her nuked reputation.
So slow growing, and it's so deliberate, and it's so tiny thing after tiny plant after tiny plant to make this mosaic that it really is. And I think that that's what Steven knows, that he's doing that. Steven knows how manipulative he is. He's talked about it. It's so many little things that you can't even bring them up. So when Steven's like, name one action I did that was extremely abusive, that nobody can deny is abusive. Victims of abuse can't do that. Unless it's something like being like violently R-worded in an alley, right? But most narcissistic abuse is like death by 1,000 paper cuts, or a world like that your abuser has built a world around you that is false and manipulated you. It's not as easy as just saying he did this.
Building a world around you that's false and manipulative. What she's saying is true, but she's describing what Max has done to her. Right? Does anybody have a screenshot I posted that log of Max talking to MrGirl, where he's like, you seem like you're really upset about this. Maybe it'd be a good idea for you to talk to Shaelin. Oh my God, it was like one of the cringiest, most like blatantly manipulative things I've ever seen in my life, right? Like, if I was trying to build a world around her, why would I ever reconnect you to Max when I knew you were obsessed with him? And she was, which is fine. I don't care. I'm not here to arbitrate people's relationships. But like, why would you, it's not like I'm locking you off from friends or telling you that you can't talk to somebody, or, you know, trying to control, like, but Max on the other hand is like constantly, Max is constantly saying like, you can't talk to this person, you need to get off this call, you can't do this. Like, it's so dumb.
No, this was late September. Yes, this was late September, maybe early October. I didn't know that I was saying something wrong, but his chat blew up that I had brought up Anna, when I said that he struggled interpersonally. And so I messaged him and was like, did I say something wrong? Like, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize the extent of it. And he says, she abused me. She made my life a hell for 2 years. This is why he deleted his logs. But I have them.
If you have logs, feel free to post them. I mean, at this point, I can't do anything. I'll reiterate it for the 70th time, and I think they've proven this point. The only reason why I wipe logs with people is because I'm worried that other people's information is going to get leaked. When I'm typing to people online, no offense to all you crazy that I talk to, I assume that everything I say is going to get leaked eventually. But that's why I don't have any secrets. That's one of the reasons why it's so easy for me to usually navigate this shit, because I'm not really keeping any secrets. If you want to leak that we hooked up or that I or whatever, knock yourselves out. But as soon as you start threatening to leak other people's stuff, well, now I have to be well, I feel like I need to wipe shit because I don't know what you're about to start posting on Twitter. And like, she already tried to do that with shit that she was making up, saying that I hooked up with Pixie and Madame Genevieve and Kelly Jean.
If you're not comfortable,
in the last 6 months, out of his female orbiters, like me, Genevieve, Cherry, he tried to sleep with Kelly Jean. Kelly Jean said no. He's hooked up with Pixie.
Okay, he's a coomer. I will not deny that he's a coomer,
yeah, so
but like,
a good portion of the women he's streamed with, he's tried to sleep with.
When none of these things were even true. She like made all of it up, and it's like, yeah, this is why I wipe my shit, because I don't even know if I referenced like, there's a chance that in part of my conversations with Lav, like I might have said like, oh yeah, I hooked up with this person or something, but I don't remember. But like, why the I risk it and have you like leaking shit and like ruining other people's?
All you do is lie. It's pathetic. If the facts are on your side, the facts are on your side.
Also, keep in mind that Lav here is pretending like she knew nothing about Anna, but Lav was one of the people that partially discovered me from the Anna drama. That was the first big content of mine she saw.
Interpersonal relationships are complicated.
You're not going to take that. That's a meaningless statement. When you say they're complicated, how is it complicated? What part was complicated?
It's complicated because when I came onto your stream, I didn't know who the f*** you were. They'll come out in the article.
She's high as right now. She's back on the Klonopin's bad.
We've been waiting for the article for months. If there was a ton of actual evidence, why has it been pushed back over and over? Because it takes a lot for one man to compile months and years of VOD footage, VOD logs between. I mean, there was 6 months of logs between of me and Steven. Like, it's gonna take a while.
I think it would take you like 2 hours to read all of our convo. Probably less. We didn't talk that much, bro.
The 11 Ds of opposition: deflect, delay, deny, discount, deception, divide, dulcify, discredit, destroy, deal, destiny. I wipe logs because I'm afraid other people's info is gonna get leaked to some stupid ass shit, dude. That's so fucking stupid.
It's stupid because she has no respect for other people's privacy or information. So of course she wouldn't understand it.
Loop. We'll see.
She doesn't know anything beyond her own world. She doesn't care about anything beyond her own world.
Didn't you leak Destiny's info about his sex life to that Nazi guy? No.
What do you mean, no?
I told him about our situation, which Steven said that the only reason we weren't public with is because of me, because I was embarrassed about it.
Why does she keep saying she was embarrassed about it when she begged me to hook up? It's so cringe how she misrepresents that, and she admitted as much on that call. Bro, I think I did no jumper. I think I did no jumper that day, and I'd flown in at like fucking 7 a.m. I was so fucking tired. I was falling asleep in her car. She drags me to a gas station, grabs me a Red Bull to keep me awake, and then the phone calls, you're like, well, I needed an Advil too, LOL. Like, I was falling asleep the entire fucking time, and she's like trying to act like I was desperately trying to get in her pants. This is not true. She knows it's not true, because on that call with her telling me, she didn't say anything contrary. She laughed, and she's like, yeah, that is true, yeah.
I would never allow Max to leak like details of that private instance between
you talk to big tech, a guy that hates me, in order to look cool.
Steve,
you've talked to other people in Discord rooms that I know about. I know you're playing dumb because you don't know what I know, but you've talked to other people in Discord rooms about it as well, and I know that. Stop acting stupid.
Steven, I literally just said that you gave me head.
That's not what you just said.
Literally all I
the logs are public. That's not what you said. We can all see the logs.
I said you serviced.
That's not. You said I was sad. You said you didn't touch me.
You seemed upset that I did not return the favor, Steven.
I didn't seem upset. You know what I was? I was tired. Like I was all fucking night. Like I was when I was almost asleep in your fucking car when you had us go in so I could get a Red Bull so you could go back to the hotel and hook up with me, Lav. I was fucking tired. I almost fell asleep before we even did anything.
Steven,
rewriting. Steven, no, you are. You know you're rewriting this so hard.
Act like you're Steven. You're trying to act. This is absurd. You're trying to like.
What part did I lie about? Tell me what part I lied about.
First of all, I also needed Advil. So
okay.
We went in to get you a Red Bull and you also hadn't slept in like 2 days, you told me. What the fuck are you doing?
All you're doing is reinforcing my story.
You stayed awake for hours and hours and hours.
What did he lie about?
Listen,
what did he lie
hold
about?
on. I'm just saying, regardless, your messages to Big Tech were not only fake, they were inflammatory. And how could you not think they were going to get leaked when you know that guy fucking hates me? When you guys are close friends and he's a Nazi and he hates me.
I did not know that. What do you mean that I knew? I did not know that he hated you. How would I have any information on that?
And she's like trying to pretend that like, oh, I was so embarrassed all the time. No, you were embarrassed the whole time. Met me she wasn't even hungry, and she met me at a restaurant to watch me eat, where we chatted for like 30 minutes before we even went anywhere. Like, Jesus.
up. I'd love for him to substantiate that.
Substantiate what?
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. Begging to hook up.
She said you were 30 hours without sleep. Yep.
I was definitely interested.
Now we change a little
Obviously,
bit.
you have to be interested to pursue something.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
Who's Luca Turk?
Little bit of the walk back. Okay. She was interested, but she was so embarrassed afterwards. Okay, dude. I like how as a male, if I said anything about this, anything like this about a woman, I would be like f***ing crucified for it. Like, she was bragging about being able to f*** you and trying to hook up with you for like 2 months leading up to hooking up with you. Oh, you from her Discord? That is true. Which in retrospect, I'm actually not sure how I feel about. There have been a couple sexual interactions I've had in my life where I felt like a little bit weird afterwards. Hers was one of them because I don't think I've met a lot of girls that have like conquest me, and she was definitely into that, which is why I wonder if she's trying to conquest Max right now. But like I could definitely tell that like she hooked up with me, and then after that we were like a little bit flirty, but then it seemed like she kind of like moved on to Max afterwards. Like, was I just like a notch in her belt? Was that what she was going for? It kind of seemed like it, but maybe not too. It also could have been a variety of other things. I don't really know that, and I'm not here to like mind read people. But
he thinks I wanted to conquest him, and now you want to do that to Max?
True.
Off of what basis? All he
Oh my
like,
god,
why?
So true. It's true. That reaction tells me it's true.
Conquest you?
Oh man.
I didn't even you.
Absolutely true. Who's relaying the info?
What?
She's either listening to my stream in the background or she's watching chat. What?
And now me and Max do not have a sexual relationship whatsoever. Whatsoever. It has never been sexual.
That's her dad, Destiny. True.
Do you trust Max? I trust Max.
Absolutely. Why wouldn't you? A guy with a history of abuse, history of making threatening comments, history of being, we'll say, sexually coercive, not rapist. Like, yeah, of course, I trust him fully, 100%.
Thank you for the first time chat. Thank you for the sub.
Ostracized from every friend group, every relationship, every platform, everything. His parents, everything. Like,
I would love for Steven to take accountability.
she had a VOD now deleted when she said she had a compulsion to conquest. Is that actually true? That'd be interesting if there's a... Why don't you let them fade into irrelevance? The problem is that, like...
that Steven can refute things that he has said. Like, the article is not a narrative. It's not Max writing about what he thinks.
The problem is that they dropped it and they did that article for a while, so their sub is like ablaze with all of the article shit that's coming for who knows how long. But the problem is that Lav started jumping onto panels again, and then now that she's like kind of gotten slightly relevant back in that scene, then they blew up again after she started getting on panels, so everything's kind of like front and center again. So it's like just always stewing here.
Destiny confronts her again, and every claim she's made, she instantly walks back. Every time I talk to Destiny, every time Destiny talks to one of his victims, they get confused because of the narrative he paints, that she deserves the abuse, that he's not actually abusing her, and he cannot do that anymore. Because that only works if it's in private. That only works if it's in private and you cannot accuracy test. That's the only way that it works. Right? Or if he's doing it in front of thousands and thousands of people who believe everything he says. How do you call Steven a liar when you were on the record lying about Kelly and Pixie 2 days ago? Will you grant him the same oopsie excuse that you use? First of all, I was mistaken about Pixie. I didn't think I lied about Kelly. Kelly went on the record saying that Steven had tried to flirt with her, and she said no.
Oh, okay. Those are two wildly different things.
After Pixie...
Wait, did you see she did it right there real time? I have flirted with Kelly in the past. I was a little flirty with her like 6 years ago when we first started talking. Spoiler alert, I'm flirty with almost every girl that I talk to. But like, is flirty with and tried to have two wildly different connotations. Almost, dude, I'm flirty with like conversations erudite. Like, I'm flirty with almost every girl I talk to. That's absolutely true. But notice how she changed that real quick from like tried to like, oh, well, flirted with. Like, why though? It's just my personality. I'm a flirty guy. This is the clip the chatter meant.
With me. That's like a big thing for me, is I need to make men obsessed with me. I need to have that power over them. No matter how many men I make obsessed with me, the hole will not fill. It won't. It's always there's always another guy that I have to make my project. There's always another person I need to make obsessed with me. It will not fill. I thought my whole life I'd spent, being like, oh, if I find the perfect man who loves me, everything will be okay. He'll save me from myself. And then I found the perfect man, and I'm like, oh, I still feel it.
Like, imagine how dead to rights I would be if there was ever a clip like this of me, where I'm like, I don't know what it is, guys, but there's something about making fun of a woman on stream that I've had my inside that just gets me rattled. I love bringing women on stream and just verbally lighting them up, knowing that I had them screaming the night before. It makes me feel so, like, imagine if there was ever a clip, a clip that I'd ever said anything, even remotely similar to this. I would be like dead to rights. It would be over for me. But like, she's got so many statements like this, and it's like.
So what that tells me is it's an internal issue, and so I'm just sublimating it with me. That's like a big thing.
Sublimate.
True. Like, I'm a random, why are you messaging me? They're trying to get anyone they can.
They're trying to get anyone they can. They say, after Max posted in the StarCraft subreddit this morning, how many times is he gonna be done collecting comments? I'm writing an article about platform abuse by the streamer Destiny. Please PM me if you have any information and want to speak on or off the record. 15 hours ago.
This is what he does, is he just this is what counterpoints said, I mean. Not counterpoint, she's not involved, thank God. She's still queen. She's still uninvolved queen. Counterpoints had said he was really talented rhetorically. And he is, because he's an extremely manipulative communicator.
Or it's just part of my job.
He tries to confuse the opponent, throw red herrings.
Oh my God, now they're pulling out the classic debate tactics. It was all debate tactics.
Fights for his life. Steven fights for his life every time he talks. I don't know why. Abuser needs to get you alone. Then why does Max always try to get you to stop talking?
True.
And have these private sessions where you get muted and he starts degrading when you had to. The conversation about leaving, he was pushing you to leave, then relented and said, no, you don't have to. When you finally said you could, that is textbook manipulation. You guys can try to make that manipulation. It fucking wasn't. Like, you guys can try to cope because Daddy Steven told you it was manipulative.
She doesn't have a response. She doesn't have a response for it because she knows how bad it looks, right?
What is he manipulating me to do?
This?
Leave a situation that was actively abusive for me? What would... And if he was manipulating me to leave a situation that was actively abusing me, is it a bad thing? Is it manipulative when you tell one of your girlfriends, hey, you don't need to leave this relationship. I'm gonna be here for you either way. It is not good for you, though. Is that manipulation? You guys are coping so much. You guys, for some reason, Steven thinks that
yeah, she's gonna try to make it sound ridiculous now.
All accountability and responsibility by bringing up the person who's accusing him's shortcomings and everything bad they've ever done. It's a bait and switch. It's like don't pay attention to me. Look at Max.
And remember, when I was talking to her one-on-one, I asked her multiple times, was there anything I did wrong? Was there anything I did improper? Was there something I could have done better? Nope. Did you lie to me about how you felt in order to keep coming on my stream? Yep.
When I have publicly said that I diverge from Mr. Girl's feelings about everything, I've publicly said this I don't know how many times now. I really don't even have anything against you besides the fact that I just don't want to be...
Cool. So MrGirl's article is going to come out and it's going to say I was incredibly abusive and coercive towards Lav because this is like one of his 2 star witnesses. And then somehow she's going to get behind it and try to like square it away with what she's saying now. But at least it's public here now, so whatever, I'm good on that.
Wait, Steven, there's no like, I'm not making a public statement. There's nothing I've said or there was be no accusations of me in the thing. It is literally, I just gave Max our logs and he had access to all of the live streams. That is literally it. There is no like, I'm not painting a narrative. I am
You
literally.
are.
I just
You
gave-
called me Harvey Weinstein. You say I'm sexually abusive and coercive to women. You say that I'm all these fucking people. You're leaking details about everybody. How are you saying you're not painting a narrative?
I'm not implying, or I don't think necessarily, and I'm sorry I said the Harvey Weinstein thing.
Did you leak personal details about me to other people? Yep. Were you talking shit about me in Discords for months? Yep. But somehow, like, I'm the bad guy here? It's, like, unbelievable.
But
Aren't they
successful
chatting?
when you have no other.
Oh, if she wants to chat, we can, but she's not going to talk to me. Max probably programmed her. Nope. Is MrGirl watching this stream? Anytime
Okay,
she
good.
goes
He's right
live,
next to me. You'll see.
MrGirl and Shaelin are watching 100%. They have to keep track of every single thing she says because they don't want any incongruencies between what she says, what the article is, and then what they talk about personally.
But how is that not manipulative? He's always making talk when he wants you to talk. Max mutes you forcibly. Before I went on to the stream the other day, Max said, I don't want you to, and I don't think that you should talk about Brianna Wu. And he was right. Brianna Wu tweeted like 2 days ago that she was gonna, because I brought her up, she was going to go on Chud Logic stream. Like, he literally what happened, what he was afraid of happened, right?
Yeah, I think that the mens rea that Lav demonstrated by saying on a popular streamer's site, saying, I'm about to drop a nuke on Hassan, right? I don't think like, oh, Hassan has empower balance.
She didn't say she didn't say I'm about to drop a nuke.
Yes,
on
she
Hassan.
did. She did.
Duns, I'm about to drop a Hassan nuke.
I have a Hassan nuke. I don't think she said
Yeah.
I'm going to drop a nuke on.
That's a distinction without a difference.
Those are different. I think those are pretty different.
I think that's a distinction without a difference. So,
Well,
but the
I don't
point
think
that
so.
I'm
I think in
bringing
one
up here-
she's clearly stating an intent to destroy him, and the other
Correct.
she's saying I know something bad about him. Lav was not trying to attack Hassan.
Then why did she say she wanted to drop a nuke on Hassan?
She didn't say that, and you just admitted she didn't say that. What she said is she had a nuke on Hassan. You said it was a distinction without a difference. Now you're going back to the original quote, showing that actually you do think there's a difference, and I'm glad you agree with me on that.
And he was like, I don't want you to get into that because this is the red herring. This is Steven's red herring.
Legit, an owner reverse card, me too, might not be a bad idea. All the shit she's done. If anybody should do it, it should be Hassan, right? Like, if you technically think about her timeline with Hassan, it's probably almost or even worse than mine, to where she tried to flirt with Hassan in DMs. She gets brutally shot down and ghosted, which probably destroyed her fucking mind. And then after he shot her down and didn't reciprocate, she then goes around and accuses him of sleeping with an underage friend, and she makes it all up just because she didn't get what she wanted after him. And like, Hassan leaked all those DMs so we can see that happen. Like, that's a crazy story right there if you wanted to write a story. And she walked away from that scot-free. Technically, she walked away relatively unscathed. She changed her name. She's back streaming. She's still got her support network, and she's on OnlyFans. That's pretty wild. Crazy how she likes to invent all these new women. Has had sex with 2 of my friends when they were underage. Lymph out. These are like messages that she's posting like semi-public Discord servers. So unhinged. Both of those are probably fake, by the way.
Psychopathic losers. Then why would you? First of all, you just lied there. That first statement is a lie. Also, why did you say this? You can't do that. That is like not in the rules, okay? You're just a bad person, okay? You just lied and then you followed up and said,
Dude, these Lav DMs are wild.
See that Hassan nuke
Which one?
that never went off?
That's not real. I'm almost positive it's not real. I would just tell you to be.
Yeah, I thought it was way too much.
Yeah.
But again, why would someone say that?
Well, because they have every incentive to.
Oh, I just. Wait, did you talk to them?
I just know. You just have to trust me. There are a few things I would say I know, and I know this one. Okay.
Duns, I'm about to drop a Hassan nuke.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
No,
DM it
stop.
to me.
Stop doing that.
No.
Lav, you're gonna end your whole fucking career on this
I
shit.
know.
Don't do it.
I
Not
know.
in a good way. Literally, it's not worth it.
I know.
So
but every
stop.
time his name is brought up, I'm like vibrating.
Stop. No,
Wait,
you
do you not-
shouldn't
oh,
be.
wait.
Stop.
Wait, do you not like Hassan?
Just know Hassan is well known in Los Angeles.
No.
Okay, hold on. Let's chill.
Steven,
Let's chill.
Hassan's talking about Lav. We gotta hop over and listen for a minute.
Okay, go for
Anything
it.
else
Go
for us?
for it.
Okay.
light this friendship on fire with the other person. I'm going to betray her confidence, and I'm going to lie about her age. How insane is that?
Why don't you talk to Destiny? If you're so confident now, you can destroy him. I have no
desire. You shouldn't.
Every time you
it's
talk
smart.
to Destiny, he's brainwashing you. Every time I speak to Destiny, he is brainwashing me.
True.
Trying to say that I deserve the abuse, trying to say that he did everything he could, trying to say that I wasn't abused, and it's just wrong. It's just wrong. So, if I want to talk to someone who's going to take my brain and shake it around in my head,
I'll just talk to
so
Max.
that I'm not sure of my reality, I will speak to Steven. Until then,
did she almost say it?
Shaelin is so, dude. Shit, you guys are fucking ridiculous. Do you have any insight on when Max is?
Wouldn't Max's whole article manifesto go unnoticed if you didn't talk about it? No, because Chud and all them are probably going to cover it.
A week or two? What does he say? Probably a week or two. Apparently this stream is playing Telephone with Destiny stream. Like, why don't you just two talk it out right now? I just answered that. I'm not going to talk to someone who actively abuses everyone he comes into contact with.
True.
I don't think he abuses everyone he comes into contact with, but who is actively abusing me.
Okay.
Or who has abused me. I don't want to talk to my abuser.
How many fucking waltzes did we just do? We just pivoted around like 6 different points. Actively abusing everyone he talks to. Well, not everybody that he talks to, but he actively abuses me. Well, he's not actively abusing, but it's somebody that has abused me in the past. Like,
should be called out for their abusive behavior. And I think that he has made the narrative so muddied with...
Oh, damn, she's actually ban-evading? Wait, ban-evading where? What do you mean?
Abuse. He's made it so muddy that I have nothing to lose. He has a right to defend himself. He can talk about it on stream. I can't wait to see how he defends himself after the article comes out, actually.
She's banned on Twitch? Wait, is she actually?
To be clear, there's no specific thing you can point to that was abused by Destiny, right? Wrong.
Well, oh, is she going to?
I can point to several now.
Oh, she's not going to say any of those for the article.
And you will read about them in the article.
Wow.
Yes, now. After I've read all the logs. Now, yes. Then point to it. I will. I'll go over the article on stream.
Of course you will.
But you couldn't before you talked to Max. Yeah, no kidding, because I didn't have access to all of our logs. Because Steven deleted them all. And it was on my PC that was in a moving truck until last week. So, no, I hadn't watched all the videos, seen them annotated. I
like how she's admitting here to getting manipulated, right? So she's saying, like, she saw our logs because it was our conversation, right? Like, we talked, but she's like, I didn't know it was being manipulated until Max made a video, cut everything up, annotated and titled things appropriately, and presented it in the exact way I wanted to see it. Like, she doesn't even realize she's talking through her own manipulation right now.
I'm asking you to be a villain. You become the villain and get hated. It's openly welcomed. Do your worst. What's the over-under on how long until that left to debumps out? I don't know.
If she sent them to Max on Discord, she had them all.
I feel like I could point to how I was abused before talking to someone else.
True.
It wasn't that I talked to Max. I didn't change my mind after I spoke to Max. I read the article, which has literal logs, our chat logs, the script of his VODs. I can't try to Steven's brainwashing doesn't work when you have the evidence. And I didn't have the evidence. But on the stream, you could not say one thing that he abused you with. I hadn't read it yet! I had not read. I knew how I felt, but I could not actionably put together a fucking timeline until I saw the timeline. And also, Steven is so good at manipulating you mid-conversation. When he brought up, he does red herrings. It had been months since we had a sexual relationship. 1, wrong. 2, does enough time pass by to suddenly you can abuse someone online? Does that work?
It might not have been months. It might have been a month. I don't remember. I truly don't.
He checked in on me once, and then that same week he said I was an abuser on stream.
Why do you think I can't call you an abuser just because I'm checking in on you?
Why did you do this? And then, like, Yes, I had to see everything right in front of me so that I could stop making excuses for Steven. I had to see everything. I was still mid that conversation the other night, making every excuse that I could for Steven to convince myself that I deserved it, because I could not wrap my head around the fact that someone was just being cruel to me for no reason.
The funny thing is, Destiny defended her against multiple people saying she was extremely smart and was super charitable, but that's probably part of the abuse level. Yeah, seriously. Oh yeah, that's true too. I think I said it could have been a month or months when you spoke to her. You said you weren't sure. Yeah, I did.
Muted your stream every time you called him out for bringing up irrelevancies like the personal character of MrGirl, of course.
Oh, and then also, it was funny too, because also, she did the thing where she said like there was an open door for a sexual relationship, but she conveniently left out that she had actually closed her relationship with Connor after we hooked up. And then she remembered that, she's like, oh, maybe. And it's like, wait, hold on, whoa. Here's something that I need to point this out more when I catch these things. I wish there was a name for this, but sometimes I catch people doing certain lies that are way more damaging than other lies. This is a really important lie in my mind that I caught her in, but maybe people don't realize this, okay? There's gotta be like a name for this type of lie, but imagine you ask somebody, you say like, what did you do yesterday? And somebody says, yesterday, I was at John's house and I was working really hard on software for my job, okay? I'm at John's house doing software development. And then somebody's like, were you really doing software development? And they're like, yeah, I was. Like, are you sure you weren't goofing off? No, I was doing software development. And then you're like, okay, so you were at John's house doing software development, but hold on, no, you weren't even at John's house. And then they're like, oh, okay, whatever. Yeah, you got me, I wasn't at John's house. And it's like, the lie here isn't that they weren't at John's house. That's not the thing, because that gets played off as this gets played off as like, oh, I forgot. The crazy part is not only did you lie about being at John's house, you started to invent more reality past that initial lie. That was one of the reasons why, in my mind, that thing about leaving it sexually open was such a big lie to me.
We literally have tapes of you saying, wow, when I'm not on stream, Steven sure does defend me a lot. Do we need to pull the logs of that? Do you forget saying that? I always steal man your position when you're not there.
You did. You did when I was sending you pictures.
No, you sent me like 2 pics in our whole fucking life. Are you serious? Number 1, and number 2, and the time when it was that is true. And number 2, and the time when our exchanges were
when we had an active sexual relationship, you weren't.
No. I was nice to you when things got heated around the Annalicia art, which was a month or 2 after we had any type of sexual relation. I thought we already agreed on this. Are we gonna walk back the timeline now? That is not true. I didn't have to steal you when we were sexting or hooking up or whatever, because I don't even think you were on my stream that much then. When things got really heated later on, we were way past that. But you've got all the logs, so if you want to post a thing where you were sending me a picture or sending me a video or some fucking shit like that in the same time frame that everything was blowing up, then feel free to do that and shut me up. But I'm 99% sure that we were done with all of that shit like at least a month, if not more. And I'm pretty sure you already admitted that timeline earlier in this conversation.
Admitted that? What timeline?
The timeline that you and I had finished any type of sexual fucking contact, like at least a month, I'm pretty sure.
Everything I say has like 6 different utilities to you. It is like a minefield talking to you.
What part of what I just said did you not understand? I'll say this very clearly. When stuff was blowing up on stream, when the big 10 to 15,000 view streams were happening, you and I had not had a sexual relationship for some time. We weren't sexting, we weren't trading nudes. I don't even think we were flirting with each other. You were just coming on my stream arguing. I was checking in on you, making sure there wasn't too much. That's what was going on. So you just said earlier that the only time you said okay, maybe it was a few weeks. Okay, I don't know when the exact the takeoff point was, but we were past anything sexual, and there was never a point where I defended you because you sent me a nude picture. Like the fact that you would even make that implication betrays every single thing you've said in this conversation about not making an accusation at me. Because now you're making it sound like I was only nice to you because you were sending me pics, which is not true. I abuse plenty of women that send me pictures.
Who's to say? You did not do a very good job of convincing me.
Oh my god!
This conversation.
Hold on! I just realized everything you said earlier was a fucking lie!
Of course.
You said earlier that the door had been open on a sexual relationship for us the entire time, and that's why you felt pressure. But you lied when you said that, because you had been saying...
What the fuck?
You said that there was an...
When did I ever fucking utter that word?
You said that there was an open door for a sexual relationship, did you not?
Yes?
That's a lie, though, because you said publicly that you closed your relationship with Connor, didn't you?
When?
Sometime in
November?
before all the big drama popped off. So that means that there was no fucking pressure for a sexual or any type of like open door for sexual relationship, because you closed your relationship with Connor after you and I stopped.
I was saying that there was an open door in October for TwitchCon.
I don't think in October everything was popping off on the stream. That wasn't until like a month or two later.
You're conflating 60 different things at once. I'm
not, Lav. I've been very clear. Do you want me to repeat this timeline again?
I never said that we had an active sexual relationship in November, ever. I've never made that claim.
You said when I was off this call, between me being here last time and this time, that we had an active sexual relationship when things were exploding on stream. You said that when I was on here. And you just said like 5 minutes ago that I steel-manned a position of yours because you sent me a nude pic, which is not true.
I didn't say that you... What the you're like pulling this out of your ass. I never said that you steel-manned a position of mine because I sent you a picture. I said that you were nicer to me when I was sending you pictures in the fucking beginning. That is true.
Dude, I love that. You're such a good fucking gaslighter, Lav. This is why I like having you on stream, okay? It's exciting,
Steven,
okay?
You are
I've never had people trying to mind-fuck me this hard. It's exciting. I've had somebody like this for so long. I love it.
You
I love
are
it. Keep it up.
projecting. This is actually fucking crazy that you have repeatedly put words in my mouth. How do I even speak to you?
Because what she did was she tried to give an explanation for why she was uncomfortable. Why were you uncomfortable? I was uncomfortable with you because the door was still open to a sexual relationship. She's making a claim about a state of mind that she had at the time based on a fact of the matter. There's a second order belief, right? There's a fact of the matter that she's claiming, and then she's got a state of mind that she's claiming based on that fact of the matter. But the reality is that fact of the matter wasn't even true. So if the fact of the matter isn't true, she'll walk back, oh, okay, I guess the relationship was closed. If the fact of the matter isn't true, was the state of mind a lie? Because you're saying that you felt uncomfortable because the door was open, but the door wasn't open. It was a closed relationship at that point. Then why were you saying, does that mean that you weren't actually uncomfortable at all? Did you just fabricate that entire reason to invent that state of mind to prove another argument? Does that make sense? It's like, this is why I've given this, I give these examples to people if you want to be a fucking mind fucker. If you ever catch somebody lying about something, it's very quick. You really emotionally want to call somebody like, why did you lie about that? Don't ever call someone on a lie until you actually have to, because the interesting thing is if you let somebody lie, what's really interesting is to let them keep lying and see how many things they lie about. Because once a person has gotten one lie through the door and they start building on it, these could give you an indication to other types of lies too, right? Like if you, like I went to John's house to code yesterday and it's like, oh, you sure you didn't talk to Kate at all? And it's like, no, I haven't actually talked to Kate. I can't talk to Kate because John doesn't have internet. So even if I wanted to talk to Kate, I wouldn't be able to. Yeah, John doesn't. My projects are like offline. I just have a drive there. And it's like, oh, okay. I thought that John was like, I thought John was a meat eater. Aren't you vegan? Like, did you have food at his house? And he's like, oh no, I brought food with me, right? Like, they can keep piling on the lies. And if you're willing to lie about all of these things past the first line, it's like, okay, well, hold on. I know that he doesn't have these things. So did you eat meat? And it's like, yeah, I did eat meat there. And it's like, hold on. You weren't even at his fucking house. And it's like, okay, so did you eat meat somewhere else? It's like, did you talk to Kate somewhere, right? There are so many, I've actually used it since I heard you say that. Yeah, always let people lie past the first lie, because they'll start to lie about so many other things. But like, anyway, yeah, this was a funny example of her saying like, the reason why I was uncomfortable with you, and I was uncomfortable with you, is because the door was open to a sexual relationship, but the door wasn't open to a sexual relationship. Your relationship was closed. You didn't know that I knew that, because I think she talks about that behind closed doors and all these Discord rooms. She's constantly talking about me.
That was my friend.
But then the question is like, how many other things are you willing to lie about, right? Because you're inventing so much, you know?
Poor Connor. Connor is the happiest he's ever been.
I wonder if they broke up or if she's definitely abusive to Connor. I know that at the very least,
Teaser.
right?
I don't know who Teaser is. When you read my chat a few minutes ago, Destiny muting you when you talk about his red herrings. He muted you again to bring up MSP.
Based.
Dude. He's looking really bad.
Absolutely.
He's looking so bad. I'm sure that he feels desperate.
True.
If I was in his position, I would feel very desperate and scared. Who's sending me a friend request? I don't know you. I do not know you. Alright, this is just an ad for Max without anyone saying anything for herself. Sorry that we're just personally attacking people in chat. Thought that's pretty cringe. Very impressed with you today. Thank you, Flooded TV. Lav and Destiny simp, I admit it. Let me argue about it with you on Discord. No. I'm not gonna let someone make excuses for my abuser to me. I don't care. You're just gonna try to convince me I deserved it or that he didn't abuse me.
Do you think women can play off lies easier than men? A little bit, yeah. Oftentimes pretty women will never get called out on anything because like every guy around them wants to simp hard. If you are a pretty woman, you probably live one of the hardest lives ever if you're trying to do right by everybody, because there's such an extraordinary amount of work you have to go through to solicit real feedback and real friendships. Because if you're a pretty woman, you can skirt through life and do far above average just by all the men around you that are constantly just sucking up to you and trying to simp for you and trying to fuck you. It's really, really hard as a pretty woman to like get genuine feedback and to navigate that carefully without gaslighting yourself too much in one direction where you get hardcore imposter syndrome, or without just taking advantage of all the simps in your orbit. Like
Shaelin.
Lav is the kind of person where if she looked like 3 points uglier on the scale, she would be working at Burger King for the rest of her life.
It's not, there's no narrative around it. There's no narrative around it. It's like what happened.
Do you think it's inevitable that Lav will turn on Max at some point? Probably. Or she'll move in with him. One or the other. Yeah, I think.
Waiting for an article to come out about your supposed abuse and hoping for a W on it is sus behavior. Yeah, when you frame it like that.
Want to place a $100 bet that the article never comes out? Sure. I think it'll come out.
Every opportunity
it
to
has
call me
to.
a liar.
It has
He's
to.
accused me of abuse. He's tried to evade every single bit of accountability, and no one's ever been able to nail him on responsibility for abusing people and women. And I'm happy that finally there seems like a chance, and I'm feeling hopeful. That's different. If people want to debate these points, they can call into MrGirl's hotline. That's true. That's true. As much as I hate the online drama, I hope you're having a good day, Lav. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Also, thank you so much for the subs today.
How many times have people tried this against you? Let's see. How many times have people thought they were going to nuke my personal life? Bob7 tried it. Ari Nina kind of tried it. Denims kind of tried it. I feel like there was one more. Max was trying it. Casey Tron tried it, kind of. Naked Ape tried it, kind of. Yeah.
Max talking to Teaser, talk about that. I don't know who Teaser is. Want to go over some of the stream you did with him? With Steven? Maybe. No, I can't. I can't because of his voice.
What?
Maybe on YouTube.
Wait, is she actually banned
Maybe
from
I'll do it on
Twitch?
YouTube. I don't know.
What was her last thing? Bar Mitzvah or whatever?
Oh yeah, true. Yeah. But 417 viewers. Hello. Please follow, please sub.
I'm so happy. Please sub to my OnlyFans. I'm so happy I'm getting attention.
There are logs of you lying, logs of MrGirl lying, so it seems you MrGirl are the abuser. I guarantee the article will do nothing to Destiny. Meanwhile, if he writes an article against you, you will have no career left. Bob and Keffels, good luck, I guess.
Oh, Fnatic was supposed to release a big manifesto on me about how I'm actually secretly racist. I don't know. I think he gave up on that.
There are no logs of me lying.
Oh my god.
There are no logs of MrGirl lying. I'm not an abuser. Yeah. You only have those viewers because you're talking about Destiny and you know it. Yeah.
Oh.
Is that an own?
True, that Meg 7th girl, Claw's girlfriend, they tried to do it, but those guys are like schizophrenic. Oh, they actually worked with Max on the article. Did you know that? Claw on Twitch, the guy that said, I'm invincible, no one can ban me, and then he said the N-word and got banned, and his girlfriend Meg, the insane people, those two people worked with Max on the article quite a bit.
Like a fucking clockwork. A year ago, nobody would have defended Shadowkeep. Now people are out here saying it's better than Lightfall or Warmend or hell even Beyond Light. This is insanity. I don't know what any of that means. Are those people? Bob got dragged. I know. And you know what's so crazy about that situation?
Uh-oh.
Is that...
Revealing. Careful.
It's actually fucking crazy. I feel so fucking bad for,
Max is spamming.
Whatever.
I feel bad for Bob 7.
But if I already hate Steven. Darn. Darn!
They're gonna try and save every person that's ever attacked me. They're gonna retread the Bob 7 drama.
You feel bad for Bob? I mean, yeah. I think that whole situation, the way that it was outlined, dude.
Oh my God,
Listen,
they're gonna try to retread. They're gonna retread
personally,
so much old ground.
I have made it a goal to not publicly speak on Steven's marriage because I really hate it. Even though both of them are people in the community who are very open about their relationship and their problems and whatever.
Didn't she say that my relationships were all a mess? Am I crazy?
Because I so hate it when people do that with me.
I feel like she did that yesterday. Am I making that up? Or a few days ago? Am I crazy?
I don't know if Max feels the same way. I don't know if that will be in the article. But that is all I'm going to say about it. And I think the Bob 7 stuff, because it involves Melina so heavily, feels inappropriate for me to talk about.
Oh, they are going to go over the Bob 7 stuff. It's going to be every drama I've ever been involved in. They can actually take a year to work on this, and it could just be like a Destiny GG like recap.
I told Steven. Steven released a screenshot of me saying like, I'll send it to you if you don't like harass me with it.
Now she's going to explain why.
And then he was like, not holding my breath, unlike me sending it. And I was like, why would I'm going to send this guy who's been targetedly harassing me and sending people to harass me for months.
Do you think they talked to Caseytron? 100%, of course.
Even when we were friends, did that. I'm gonna give him my logs with Max for what? I don't owe him anything. Keep crying about not getting those fucking logs. I don't care.
There it is. Those logs will never be
Say that
released.
I'm a weasel. Say that I'm whatever.
You know what, actually? You know what's really funny? I bet that Max and Lav, I bet Max made Lav delete their logs. I bet he said something like, in case they get hacked or blah, blah, blah. I bet Max actually had Lav delete the logs because he doesn't trust her and thinks that she might leak them. I bet that's happening.
Owing you. You know it would make you look bad. No. Max puts our logs in his article.
Selectively.
So I don't need to. They're gonna be public.
Some of them.
I also don't know what would make me look bad. Literally, all I'm doing in those is saying, look, I'll fucking read you an excerpt. Tell me if this makes me look bad.
Oh god, I hope this is the welcome to the Orbiters Club. Oh no, this is between her and Max.
I'll only read what I said.
You won't even read her part.
Sorry, there's a lot of logs.
Jesus. He's working overtime.
God, there's so much. I don't even...
Oh, man. And they have weekly calls.
There's so much. I don't even know where to start. And it also involves...
Well, what?
People
off the record stuff that he's been telling you about? Why would he even share
I have a fear
that?
that if I
why would he even tell her that? Do you think that's kind of weird? Like if Max is talking to her about personal from other people and she's like a victim that he's writing his article about, why the fuck would he share any of that with her?
It's literally just me being like, I don't want to be involved in the article, but also I really do want to be involved in the article, and I feel like I made it all up. I'm freaked out. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm making up how uncomfortable I am. I'm really disoriented. I still think he's the good guy and I've done something wrong. I feel like I'm doing something wrong by even telling you how I feel about it.
It's so cringe that they're playing this like circle jerk, like where they keep coming on each other kind of thing, where like she's saying that for as a bid for social reassurance, right? Like, I think I'm still doing the wrong thing. And I bet if you read his reply, he's like, you're not doing the wrong thing. She's like, he might still be the good guy. And he's like, no, he's not. Don't worry. Like, they're doing this like cringe back and forth. Like, they're like enacting their own little mini like Broadway play with each other in DMs.
That's it. And then it's
yeah, true. Also, that's also true. She offloads her entire decision-making process onto another person who's like actively poised to be in opposition to me. And it's like, you don't see how this is a little bit weird?
My online career as a permanent mark and my private life is made public. Has already happened. Same thing with all of us. I think I'm waiting for a bomb to drop. I have to see something that pushes me over the edge. Another female orbiter introduced, or another big thing. It feels too made up in my head right now. He said, you have such mixed feelings about this. Validation that your feelings are real makes you feel guilty and terrified, and gaslighting that it's all in your head makes you feel enraged. But as soon as you feel the rage, it flips back to guilt and terror. I said, yes. I'm also so afraid of becoming a woman who makes another false allegation. I'm so vehemently against it. I have to be 100% sure. I almost tweeted about it earlier when he was going over our talk and trying to discredit us on stream. He said, part of you being against it comes from an empathetic place. Part of it is self-protection, but part of it seems like a learned hatred of those who would rock the boat. And I said, I don't want to be his secret keeper. But being his secret keeper is keeping me safe. What if Steven is just as messy as I am, poor boundaries, and a victim of his circumstance?
Is he telling her she feels?
I'm waiting for proof he's doing this on purpose, but I think a lot of what you've said is that he possibly isn't because he isn't an evil overlord, but his actions are abusive nonetheless, and it needs to be addressed, which I completely agree with in theory, but holy shit, if you've seen the videos of him and Anna 2 years ago, I do not want to be Anna. And you cannot guarantee me I will be safe, and I cannot guarantee that for myself. I can only lose. He said, I think what I was saying is that whether it's abuse doesn't seem messy. As a person, we're all messy. I think once the guilt and fear come, you switch from, is Steven abusing me, to Steven is a terrible person. Of course, evaluating what kind of person he is messy, but evaluating his behavior seems pretty straightforward to me. I said, I'm very worried the public will not feel that way, and then I become Anna. Max, I found him through those Anna videos, and it enticed me.
Ah, so she did know about the Anna stuff.
Interpersonal relationships are complicated.
You're not going to take that. That's a meaningless statement. When you say they're complicated, how is it complicated? What part was complicated?
It's complicated because when I came onto your stream, I didn't know who the f*** you were.
Very nice. Another
he
lie.
Said it's a chance to prove that you're not when you've been told you are. I said I need to talk to my therapist about it. I said, I'm the common denominator. Is it me, or does almost every man use his platform to abuse women? I really want to come forward, and I'm wanting to protect myself. I just don't know how to do both. Max said, you also want to protect him. I said, I'm so mad that I do. He says, even if he is abusive, it seems pretty clear that you feel like you made him do it. After talking to blank, it has become clear to me that our biggest obstacles are the women themselves. Anna could have stopped the perception that she is a stalker any time in the past 2 years and has chosen not to. When she told me, and then I said when she told me that her and Steven were still in contact, I was literally sunlocked. And he said, yeah, she doesn't want him to stop talking to her.
Hold on,
I said,
it's interesting to listen to their conversations.
To be honest, I feel similarly. He said, yeah, I think that's important to acknowledge. And then I don't want to. Then we talk about something that I don't. We talk about someone who would not be happy if I.
Oh, he also does reveal true. The women are the obstacles. After talking to X, he is telling her the women that he's talking to. That's true.
Like, you haven't told me anything about your other interviews or whatever, but where I'm standing.
I feel like I'm a big part of what you're doing.
I think I'm overreacting.
Yeah, from where I'm standing, I'm like, I made something out of nothing.
True.
I
You
should have
did.
just grinned and bared it. I should have just moved the on.
True.
That's what our conversations look like.
How do you think MrGirl got her so well under
It's
control?
me saying I want to come forward.
Good
and
about
I
manipulating.
don't, and then me.
So something that's really interesting. I wish I had like convos. I mean, obviously I can never leak these. Something that's really interesting about a way to have a good conversation with somebody that might be going through a traumatic experience, or somebody that might feel like they're having a really negative experience. And I've played the role of having these convos with people sometimes because people feel comfortable talking to me. Is when I'm having a conversation with somebody, I'm going to speak what I do, and I'm going to say that most people should probably do this. Okay. If I'm having a conversation with somebody, there are two very different approaches that you can take to the conversation. It was really interesting to listen to them talk about each other. I'm sorry, this is just something that is interesting, like people dynamics, right? There's like two big paths that I can go through when I'm talking to a person. Okay, let's say that I'm talking to a girl, and let's say that she's telling me that she has an abusive boyfriend. Okay, that's the front claim. She's like, I feel like my boyfriend is abusive. There are two ways that you can go in that conversation. One way, I would say, is like an empathetic, understanding route, and the other way is an emotionally manipulative gaslighting route. So if somebody tells me I feel like I have an abusive boyfriend, generally, if you're genuinely trying to help somebody, we're actually conversation advice to be a more feminized man in a way that makes you more empathetic and attractive to women, I guess, if you're having these conversations. If you want to have a really good conversation with somebody about an event that is confusing or traumatic or like upsetting to somebody, the way that you generally approach the conversation is you're there to be a sounding board so that you can ask them the right questions so that they can kind of reflect on events that have happened and reflect on their feelings of those events and then see if they want to feel new things or if they're correct in their current feelings, right? So somebody say, I feel like I have a abusive boyfriend. Abusive boyfriend. Say, do it. Go ahead. Okay, all right. They feel like they have an abusive boyfriend. What you want to say is like, okay, well, why do you feel like they're abusive? And it's like, well, sometimes when I come home, he shouts at me. He's really mean to me. He's nasty to me. I work a full day. I come home, he's unemployed, and he still shouts when I come home. It's like, okay, well, why does he shout at you? What does he say? And it's like, well, he says this or that. It's like, well, do you feel like you do these things wrong? Have you had relationships like this in the past? Do you feel like it's fair for him to shout at you like this? It's like, well, I mean, I do these things and blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, well, maybe you do some mistakes. Do you think it's right for him to scream at you? Does that feel like justified? Would you ever scream at him for something like that? Have you had anybody in a relationship do in the past? Another really good way to get somebody to reflect on their situation is to ask, if you had a friend and they came to you and they said, my boyfriend is doing this, what would you say to them in this situation? Usually when people externalize situations from themselves, they can reflect on it way better. They go, yeah, if I had a girlfriend and she told me that her boyfriend says, I probably would tell her you should probably leave, it's abusive, right? That's like, in my opinion, I think that's like the ideal way to approach those types of conversations. Is you're just there as a sounding board and you ask them questions and it gives them an opportunity to explore with somebody to like lightly guide their thoughts, and then it gives them room to like really reflect on and think about something with a non-judgmental third party that's just like helping them sort their thoughts out. The other way to do it, which is what Max was doing, which is so interesting, listening to talk, is I think that my boyfriend is abusive to me. You want him to not be abusive though, don't you? Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I don't really want to think of him that way. It's because your father treated you the same, isn't it? Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe. Like, but I don't know. I guess it feels bad. It feels bad because you don't want to be the bad guy, but you want to be the bad guy, so your boyfriend's not. Like this projecting, like telling somebody what they feel, it is the easiest way. Have you ever heard the term chaos is a ladder? It's true for people's emotions as well. The best time to manipulate somebody is when they're emotionally volatile, because when they're emotionally volatile and their mind is rearranged and they are they trust you as a person, you have the opportunity to go in there and them up so hardcore because they already trust you emotionally, and you have the ability to rearrange and sort the deck or the blocks in any way that you want. And it's very, very, very interesting listening to Max talk to Lav, because every single statement that he was reading when she was going through those logs was him telling her, this is how you feel. You don't want to do that. This is why you're doing that. It's because you care about him. You don't want to be the person, right? Notice how he's not actually serving as like a reflective soundboard at all. He's not actually giving her an opportunity to genuinely explore her thoughts. Instead, he's inserting what he wants her to feel at every single pause. And then she's just kind of going along with it because she's either stupid or obsessed with him. I bet most of their Discord conversations are like that. Most of the conversations I hear Max having with other people are like that. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. You think Max will go all the way back to the StarCraft days? Yeah, he's going to revisit the DDoS thing. I think there's going to be a big aspect. I think there's going to be a big aspect of his article that's focused on suicidality. I've already said this before. I have a pretty cold demeanor, and I joke about a lot of things. So I think they're going to bring up my callous disregard of my best friend's suicide when I was 21, and I think they're going to bring up the fact that I joke about wreckful suicide that happened a few years ago. And I've caught wind of this. I don't know if I can reveal this or not. I don't remember how this came. Actually, I don't even care. The truth will set us free. Apparently, some guy emailed me like a year ago and said something about like my friend wants to come on or he's going to kill himself. Oh, it might have been the low tax guy from Something Awful. And then I think I made a joke after that guy did kill himself, and I was like, oh shit, maybe I should have talked to him. And Max is like trying to frame this as like Destiny thinks suicide is funny. He doesn't care when people around him kills himself. He told his best friend to kill himself, et cetera, et cetera. And I think they're going to build off of that to try to make it seem like I'm like pushing people to suicidality with my platform, and I enjoy it and I sadistically like it the whole time, the same way that I sadistically get off from like abusing women that I fucked on stream, basically. I'm pretty sure that's going to be
the logs, and then there's
I'm pretty sure that's going to be a really large part of the article, is the push to suicidality.
Right? LOL, that's not all I can say. He made you relevant and you're mad people didn't like you. So what, he should be held responsible for hurting your feelings, and he should pay because you can't handle life and delude yourself into these victim mentalities, and maybe he's just feeding. That's true. I guess we'll see.
Honestly, you could easily do a counter article showing how much Lav has lied. I don't really want it. I don't want to drag out. Like Max has already said he's going to do like 2 or 3 articles. Like, bro, I don't want this being like 8 months. It's not even like good drama. I mean, it's good for viewership, I guess, and these people are hateable, but it's like, it's kind of boring. It's like played out at this point. They've already like dragged this article shit out. It was supposed to be within like a few weeks, right? And then it was like a month, then 2 months, then 3 months, then 4 months, then you know. He's still like collecting information, right? He posted on the StarCraft subreddit, so it's like, yeah. Okay, all right, we're done with this shit. If they discuss old drama, those manifestos already set the record straight. Yeah, and also I don't want to be in the process of like constantly relitigating all of my past dramas. It's like so fucking cringe, and especially not at the hands of like, you know, Lav loser and fucking Mr. Rapist. Okay. When does this shit spill over into actual harassment, stalking? I think they're way past that. I think they're easily in like the harassment and stalking territory, but I mean, it's not like legal. There's any recourse for that. Oh yeah. For my Destiny article, I'm interested in threats you might have made. This is on March 2nd. Last call. On February 3rd, this is the last call. On January 2nd, this is the last call. So we're on 3 of them now? Okay.